Hey, it's Allie and welcome back to December Daily. This is day 9 for 2020. First off, just to thank you for all the fun comments yesterday. There was one very specific suggestion that I just wanted to say out loud as soon as a couple people mentioned it, both on Instagram and in the YouTube comments, and I think on my blog too, was the idea with that flip up. I could have just done little slits right here, like they were talking about, like on a ring, like on a coil binder, how oftentimes pages have slits so that you can pull them out. Duh. Those are the kinds of things that I can't always think about when I'm doing it in the moment. Loved that idea. Definitely, like, if I do that again in the future, that would completely work. So just cutting a little slit right there, that way you could flip it up through the ring. So thank you to those of you who made that suggestion. Loved that idea. I also added a number 8, just one of the little white puffy stickers, onto my star there. I had already stamped the date, obviously, but I liked having that little piece added on there. And if you didn't see yesterday, if you didn't actually click over to my blog, I did end up cutting off the palms. For better or worse, the palms are gone now. I still love the texture. I'm moving on. All right, so for day 9, if you guys have seen already, or you've probably seen already, I have this little pocket that I set up, cutting off the back of a envelope. I put the felt number 9 on top there, the Merry Little Christmas. That is a fabric circle from the main kit, and then also from the main kit are these wood veneer tags. These two had patterns on them. There's also another one that says the story of this December day that I have there too. And for those of you, excuse me, if you didn't take product play this year, one of the fun things that Laura Wansick did is she put a bunch of little like puff balls inside of there, and that was a super cute and fun way to use that one. But as I was thinking about what kind of story I wanted to tell using this today, I kept thinking about everyday life kinds of stories. And I know some people keep this project completely to Christmas stories. I'm always putting in pieces of regular life. And I was trying to think of things, what are things that I don't always document? Like, there are some things that I feel like I document really regularly, but I was trying to think of what's something that I encounter every single day that I almost don't even notice that I'm encountering it, that I could include in this project. So I am going to do something that is screenshots from my phone. So a few different things that I do on my phone. It's this is a very modern day kind of story, right? But I think for many of us, we live a lot of our lives goes through our phones now in a million different ways, from playing crossword on our phones. That's what I've been doing a lot of lately. I've been trying to not do other things, and so crossword felt like a good thing to be doing that is still a brain activity. So I've got a picture of my New York Times crossword that I had started. I think this is probably from a couple days ago. Because I feel like I'm just starting out with crosswords, I do a lot of I signed up for the crossword subscription on the New York Times, and I'm going back and doing a lot of the Monday ones because the Monday ones are the easiest. I also have auto check turned on, just so I can learn more about the clues and what kind of words and phrases the clues teach us. And so having that on right now is the best way for me to do this. Otherwise, I'm terrible at it, and I would like to get better. So auto check is working for me. Anyway, this is kind of a downtime activity for me, but that also still engages my brain in a way that is related to words, which I like. So I did crossword, and then I did just a screenshot of what the front of my phone screen looks like what are the apps that I have on here the most, or what am I using. And then I also screenshotted a text message with Anna. She and Audrey are swimming. There's an outdoor pool, so it's not warm here, but they're swimming in an outdoor pool, and they got flippers, or they got fins yesterday for the first time. So they texted me, or Anna texted me about how she really liked it, but Audrey loved it. And so I thought that was really cute. So, you know, text messages, just what my phone screen looks like, and one of my favorite apps is what I decided to do in here. If you have this set up, you could do things that I've done in the years past where I interviewed family members, or I had a photo of each individual family member. I don't have a plan for that necessarily this time. I might end up doing it as we go along, but that's not something that I set out to do, but that's something you could do here. You could do gift lists, what people are wanting for Christmas. You could do gratitudes. I'm, you know, thankful for this, thankful for this, thankful for this. I'm gonna go ahead and do something that feels fun and relevant, and it's a story that I want to tell, that there is joy that comes from my phone, especially with not having kids living with me all of the time. That sort of the communication that happens over text and even calling on the phone too is important to me. And so I'm gonna do those 3 images on the front of my this. This wasn't part of a workshop this year. I think I talked a little bit more about it in my foundation pages. This is essentially just a big piece of cardstock that is folded and then trimmed down to fit, and is attached on these 2. And what I'm planning on doing is doing a little bit of journaling on the back here. And I think I'm gonna do it by hand and have it be messy and have it go across both of these, just something related to how I'm using my phone right now. The other thing that I decided to do for this, so with the pocket, I think that what I want is, I want to take, this is just a clear transparency. It's one that I had already cut up and had in my stash of things to use here. But I'm thinking that I might cut this and stitch it or adhere it to the back so that this becomes like a full half page. Let's just show you what I mean about that. And the reason why I want to do that is because I made a silhouette. Actually, I made a PNG. I also saved it as a silhouette file and as an SVG for you guys. Can download this if you like this story idea. It's on my blog. There's a link just in the comments below or in the description. I did one that says on my phone. So I cut this out with the silhouette, and I want to adhere it onto the top of here. So that'll be my title, and it's in the shape of a little tree. Obviously you can move it around and do whatever you want. These aren't connected there, so you can move them around if you cut them out, or if you just want to print them. You could print them on a piece of paper. You could print them on a transparency. Lots of different options for that. So let's go ahead and let's cut this off. Let's just start with that, and then this is basically just going to be some trimming and gluing because I already knew, or I already had the photos that I wanted to use. Not exactly sure of the dimensions on this, so I'm going to go ahead and trim it with the pocket there. And one thing I could do, I could probably just tuck this part. Oh, this is, okay. That's one of those moments where you're like, that was one of the most exciting things I've done today. So all I did, in case you missed that very extravagant thing, initially I was thinking, okay, I could glue this on the back, or I could stitch it, or I could cut it, but no, really I can just slip it inside there. The holes already line up. I'm gonna call that a win. I could stop right now and just call that a win today. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing this, again, is I wanted a place for the title, and I liked the idea that this is just a little bit sturdier in the album versus just the bottom heavy piece on the bottom. So what I'm gonna do next here is pull off my backing. Actually, I probably have a tool for this. See if I can do it. This one's kind of thin. You could always leave the inside pieces. I could have done that too and just not had the pieces cut out there. That would have been fine too. Let's see if I can pull it up. This one obviously is a little bit dainty, but let's see. I think I'll poke out those other. So what I'm thinking is that this would just go on here right about here. I think I'll take the whole thing off first, and then we'll put a little bit of rolling adhesive on the back. You could also, I might put a different kind of star on there. I made that, I just hand drew that one on there, but it might it's a good opportunity to use a star embellishment because I know I have them in my stash of stuff there. Okay, so I think this is fun. You know, maybe you have specific Christmas specific stuff on your phone that you want to document, or maybe like I said, it just you might agree that it's something that we use so much of it. I feel like it has a place in our stories there. All right, so I'm gonna run a little bit of adhesive on the back of those. And you can always do stuff just like I did that other day, you know, where I put, where I embossed on there, like if you want more on there. Now I kind of want to investigate that. I could do it in red. No, I'm gonna leave white. There's always, you know, it's kind of funny. I mean, it's not kind of funny, it just is. There's always the option to do more, and then there's always the option to do less, right? That's part of the fun about this. So I try to bring up the different ways that you can play around with this. Could use one of the white adhesive or the wood veneer stars, that would work. Do have some felt stars, or if you have the star kit, there's a black one too. I don't think black, oh, there's a little red one. That's what I want. That just fell out of there. Okay, that was from a die that I cut earlier, but I think that's going to be cute. And I'm going to try just a little bit of rolling adhesive on here. Okay, so next up then, now I have the background part set, and you can obviously, I might end up still like adhering that or stapling it or something, just so it stays. Actually, in the album itself, it'll stay in place. Let's see if it is in the right spot. Yes, it is. Okay. I think that was fun. And then this may go over here. And of course, if you don't want to use, you know, the handwritten, that look, you could always use letter stickers or something else like that to get that on there. Okay, let's cut these up. Yeah, something like that. So it's gonna get, the extra will be trimmed off on the edges there. Actually, and maybe I'll start with let's do it this way. Yeah, part of that's gonna have to get trimmed off there, which is fine on the edge. Yeah, I think this is fun. This is a fun way to bring, you know, real life into this. And it's also an opportunity to bring other voices too, depending on what you end up picking to add in here. This one's gonna end up being kind of thick too. I might need to trim this down a little bit just so that it's not so thick. But. All right, and so a couple things too is if you want it to be less thick, obviously you don't have to do both of these chipboard pieces, right? Because each layer of that makes it significantly thicker. So that's something to think about. But I thought it was fun to have both of them on there. Now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna trim off the edges, and then I'm gonna punch the holes so that we have the full tag look there, and then go down along the edge and trim this guy off too. Now because this one is that much thicker, I'm pretty sure it's not gonna fit in there. So I'm gonna bring out this guy. I think it will fit through there. This is the Power Punch. This is what I was using prior to that other handheld one. It's great because it can go in lots of different places, and it has a little bit of a thicker opening than the other one. Okay, so this is fun. So when you open it up then, here's the front. This will just sit nicely in that pocket. And when you open it up, you've got the front of my phone, messaging with Anna, crosswords. And then on the back here is where I want to just write my journaling. I think I'm just gonna hand write it out there. Thinking that I will do, I kind of want it to be messy, like scripty. So I might use one of my thicker pens if I can find one of those. That will be an adventure to do that. But before I do that, I think I want to do like a little stamping on the top using my date stamp. Let's see, I just want like the edge of a piece of paper. Yeah, like this. I think I'm gonna repeat stamp on the top. Today's the 9th. Just using black, stays on. I always like the look of this when it's like a mixed date stamp. I just go all over. And having this other piece of paper here is going to give me a really nice tight line along the edge. And this is just really as much or as little as you want on here. Okay, that looks cool. Love that. And then I have adhesive on there, so you know. Okay. I don't even feel like, no, that of course is like, okay, when you grab a piece of paper out of your recycling or your trash, make sure it doesn't have adhesive on it when you lay your other stuff on top. All right, okay, so what I need to do, I'm gonna go see if I can find my really thick brush pen, and that's kind of what I would like to use to write on here for this story. Okay, so I found a couple brush pens. It's good to have a stash of pens that no one knows where they are, or no one looks in my desk drawers, and that's where some of these pens are. If I leave them out here on my table, or over by my desk, they're always gone. So brush pens are fun because you can write scripty, brushy stuff. So I think what I'm gonna do is maybe use this. Oh, I'm just gonna start. I might just use it for the title, or I might just keep writing. Actually, I'm probably just gonna keep writing because I don't need to have this be super long and I don't care if it's messy. So let's just try it and see what happens. Super simple journaling, obviously going super big. I'm gonna let this dry for a minute before I wrap it up. Obviously, this is a great example of, if I was to type up this story, which I've done for the majority of my journaling so far, it would be a longer, probably more kind of in-depth story. Writing with a pen, especially a pen like this, obviously that's super thick. You know, I'm like, oh yeah, I basically spelled that right. Limits how many words I can put into my story, and I am fine with having a combination of the two, right? Again, one of my reminders about this project and about lots of the projects that we do is that it's the sum of all the parts, adding all those parts up together that makes the experience the most beautiful. I want to have some stories that are long. I want to have some stories that are short. I want to have some days that are easy. I want to have some days that are more complicated. Some days that are simple. Some are more playful. All of those kinds of things. I like to have the combination of all of those. So I think, my last question is do I want to add more ribbon or twine or string or something to the tops of these, which could kind of mimic what I added in on day one. So let's see. I mean, I have the same stuff that you guys saw if you watched the day one video. Let's see what might I want to add on this one. And I think it's, you know, it's already thick, so maybe just add a couple of these on there. Because they're just fun. I like to, and as you guys probably saw in that first video, a lot of times I just staple them, especially these ones that are super thick. I caught it on the other side. And then I think I'll just do this other one. These are like my go-tos. Actually, let's do, I've got this, a thicker, this is a leftover, I think, from last year. A thicker one. I don't know if I have the source for this one. I'll see what I have for you guys. This one could also be tied in a knot, but I'm just going to staple it. Maybe. And I only got the front. And then we can do this guy in the back there. And on this one, I'm just going to staple it right above. That's a fun, playful way to approach a story, regardless of what your story is. It could be all kinds of different things. Again, super thick, but fun. I think that was a fun way to play around with that. All right, and then let's just add it back into the pocket. Super thick, obviously kind of ridiculous, but we're going with it.